What's up, YouTube? You already know it's your favorite beanie mofo. Fresh off that banana boat, Big Lou. Tapping back in with what to do with Big Lou and FZR2, baby. And if this is the first time you're coming to the channel, it'd be highly appreciated if you sub, liked, and shared the channel with your family, friends, folks, gente, peoples, associates, comrades, camaradas, associos, amigos, buddies, and pals. And be sure to comment. I respond back to all the comments. So as you can see from this thumbnail, this is going to be basketball, two profiles on um, two NBA greats that are they were big name players back in the 80's and partially of the 90's, especially Dominique Wilkins because he came in the league a little bit later than Alex English. But as you guys already know, these profiles are based on 80's for me because this is when I started getting into sports, watching sports, roughly 84. So every player's got to be in the league by 84 for majority of for football, baseball, basketball, pro wrestling, and boxing. So these are two more basketball greats that I'm going to be doing. I just came out and got me a coffee, a little chilly out here. As you guys can see, I got a beanie on, right? So Alex English was born Alexander English in South Carolina, in Columbia, South Carolina, January 5th, 1954. He's currently 68 years old. Obviously, he's an American NBA basketball player, right? He stood 6'8", nearly 200 pounds, right? He went to high school at Draher High School in South Carolina. He went to the University of South Carolina from 72 to 76. What's up, just chilling? What's up, homie? Cool. He was drafted in 1976, the second round, 23rd pick overall by the Milwaukee Bucks. See, I didn't know that until I wrote down some of these. I thought he was one squad his whole career, but he wasn't. So he played with the Bucks from 76 to 78, Indiana Pacers from 78 to 80, the Denver Nuggets from 1980 to 1990, Dallas Mavericks 90 and 91. And then as a coach, he coached for the Hawks as assistant coach from 2002, 2003, the Philadelphia 76ers 2003, 2004, Toronto Raptors 2004 through 2011, and then Sacramento Kings 12 and 13. Here's some of his highlights. He's an 8-time NBA All-Star, 1982 through 1989. See, I said he was he was a huge player in the 80's. You know, everybody thinks Michael Jordan, but this guy played a little bit before Jordan, 2 years before Jordan started. He's a 3-time All-NBA second team, 82, 83, 86, NBA scoring champion, 1983. His number 2 is retired by the Denver Nuggets, and his number 22 is retired by the University of South Carolina Gamecocks. He scored 25,613 career points, which is 21.5 points a game, 6,538 rebounds, which is 5.5 a game, and 4,351 assists, which is 3.6 a game. He's in the Basketball Hall of Fame and the College Hall of Fame. So he was born and raised in South Carolina, in Columbia. For some of his childhood, him and his siblings lived with their grandmother while their parents worked in New York. During this time, English often subsisted on a single meal per day. Wow. That's pretty, you know what I mean? So he was drafted by the Bucks in the second round of the 76th draft, 23rd pick overall. Playing behind notable wings such as Bob Danridge and Junior Bridgemore and Brian Winters, English struggled to break into Coach Don Nelson's rotation. Despite this, English showed promise during the 78 playoffs, averaging 13.5 points a game, third highest of the Bucks of that postseason off the bench, while helping the Bucks pass the Suns in the first round before losing to the Nuggets in a 7-game Western Conference semifinals. Then he went on to play with Indiana from 78 to 80. He frustrated with a lack of playing time. English signed with the Pacers as a free agent after the 77-78 season, right? Yeah, igualmente, just chilling. You know that, homie. English became a starter in Indiana and began to establish a reputation as a scorer. averaging 16 points per game during the 78-79 season on another rebuilding team. Then he moved on to Denver, and this is where he's known for to play with Denver, 1980 through 90. So that's exactly 10 years, solid 10 years right there, right? Uh-oh, Marky Mark in the casa. Oh, you know, I'm just on one, boy. 10-2, baby, 10-2, and I can't sleep. You feel me? Nah, I'm playing. Nah, I fucking today I slept in. Saturday I started a new spot on Saturday, so I just didn't take any couple days off I have and just chilling. You know what I mean? Sleeping in, whatever, right? So he was traded to Denver midway through the season in 79-80 for George McGinnis, a former Pacer star from the ABA days. Yeah, and I know that name pretty good, George McGinnis. Though coming off an all-star season in 78-79, McGinnis was only a shadow of his former self and was out of the league by 82. English went on to become a star player for the Nuggets. Marky Mark, I got another live set up for pretty much as soon as I'm done with this one. It's going to be about, I'm going to do some part series, and that one's going to be about, I don't know if you're aware of this because I don't know when you started doing time, but before there was Valdivia, there was Screening and Morrison, right? And so I'm going to touch on that and then touch on how Valdivia came into play. You know what I mean? And then, like I said, I'm going to do like, they're going to be short videos, maybe, I don't know, 15 minutes. I'm just doing it on the live because I'm able to put a thumbnail with it. Once I figure out how to do the thumbnail on the pre-records, I'll be doing more pre-records, and I'll just be doing a live probably once, maybe twice a week. But it's going to be different parts. So there'll be, reception center stuff. Catching the Gray Goose might be another one. You know what I mean? Things like that. When you hit R&R, when you get to a line, you know what I mean, where you're going, stuff like that. English went on to become a star for the Nuggets in his first full season with the Nuggets. 80-81, he averaged a then career high almost 24 points a game. In 81-82 season, he averaged 25.5 points a game, and the team advanced to the postseason play. He earned a position on the All-Star team and All-NBA second team. The following year in 82-83, English won the scoring title with an average of almost 28.5 points, while teammate Kiki Vanderway placed second, averaging almost 27 points a game. And I'm also going to do a profile on Kiki Vanderway. I've been doing time since I'm 15. Yeah, but I don't know. That's a CDC term, right? Morrison and Screening. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I don't know when. If people started doing time saying 07, 08, 06, they already have Valdivia by that time. Since the 83-84, he was fourth in the league in scoring. 84-85, English raised his scoring average to 28 points a game to pick up some of the slack from Kiki Vanderway being traded off to the Knicks. Denver won its division and secured the second seed in the Western Conference. In 85 playoffs, English averaged 30 points a game as the Nuggets defeated the San Antonio Spurs and Utah Jazz to meet the Lakers in the Western Conference Finals, where they would fall to the eventual NBA champions in 5 games, which is a gentleman's sweep, right? Tell them about what happens when you pull up to a joint, right when you hop off the Gray Goose, when you get to R&R, what you got to do with the bend. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. We're going to go through all that. I already got a video on that already, but it's a real long video, and I want to break it down shorter because I've been looking at the analytics, and a lot of people, you get views, but YouTube will count the views, and they might only watch for like 25 seconds. Like on a short, it might be they watch 11 seconds of 25% of the shorts that I put out. You know what I'm saying? So same thing with the videos. People ain't watching the whole video, especially these long ones, 3-4 hour videos, 2.5 hour videos. So I'm going to break it down. Everything I said in that video, it was about an hour and a half long, or about an hour long, about the Gray Goose and all that shit. We can probably make 3 or 4 videos out of it, 10-minute videos. You know what I'm saying? Where am I at? So they got swept by the Lakers in the Western Conference Finals. Lakers ended up going on to win, right? English suffered a right thumb injury in Game 4, which required surgery and rendered him unable to play for the rest of the series. With the Nuggets already dealing with injuries to other players, English injury was thought by some to have nearly ensured a Laker victory. English later stated in a 2006 interview that I think I think that if I had not broken my thumb, we had a chance to beat the Lakers. Yeah, well, that's one of them things we'll never know. So as right now, history says Lakers gentlemen swept that ass 4-1, right? English recorded his career best uh, average of scoring 29.8, which I ran that up to 30, right? In the subsequent 85-86 season, finishing third in the league behind Dominique Wilkins and Adrian Dantley. In the 86 NBA All-Star game, English set his All-Star career high by scoring 16 points on 8 of 12 shooting and 16 minutes off the bench for the Western squad. During the 86 playoffs, English led the Nuggets past the Trailblazers in the first round. In the Western Conference semifinals, English averaged 29 points, 4 rebounds, and 4 assists in 6 games. Series lost to the eventual Western Conference champions, Houston Rockets. Yeah, sure. Yeah, when I do them videos, yeah, if you want to jump on, anytime I'm dealing with something that you want to talk about, or you feel like you got good input or whatever, jump on. You know what I mean? It seems to work out better that way. Anyways, when you have other people to bounce off of and have a conversation with, you know what I mean? Wesley Mitchell in the house. What up, Wesley? Thanks for stopping by, homie. Okay, where we at? In the final game of the series on May 8th, 86, English tied his own Nuggets single game playoff record by scoring 42 points in a double overtime loss, 126-122. In 88, English received the J. Walter Kennedy Citizenship Award for his community service efforts. After the 89-90 season, in which English scoring average dipped to 18 a game, he largely struggled to maintain his level of play compared to the previous seasons. English became a free agent, and the Nuggets elected to not re-sign him. And then I'm going to go ahead and just touch this because it's just a couple of seasons and it's real short what I had jotted down. At 36, English signed a 1-year contract with the Dallas Mavericks, where he once again played off the bench, this time averaging under 10 points a game. He played his final NBA game in 91 for the Mavericks. And then he moved on to play, I think, his Italy team in 91-92, Napoli. He played for the Napoli team. It's called Basket Napoli. So the legacy he has that he left behind in Denver is he holds nearly every team record, including most career points, 21,645, assists, 3,679, games, 837, and minutes, 29,893, in a Nuggets uniform, along with the highest career scoring average with the team, 26 of any player. The Nuggets retired English jersey number 2 in 1992. As of 2019, English career 25,613 points places him 19th on the all-time NBA scoring list. While in Denver, English made the NBA All-Star team 8 times and the All-NBA second team 3 times. During his Nuggets tenure, the team made the NBA playoffs 9 consecutive times and won 2 Midwest Division titles. English retired with the NBA career averages of 21.5 points, 5.5 rebounds per game. He was the first NBA player to score 2,000 points in 8 consecutive seasons, and he has the distinction of being the top NBA scorer in the 80's. And he was selected into the Hall of Fame in 97. So see that he has more, and this is only because Jordan in his second season broke his ankle or something, or his foot. But he had 9 consecutive seasons of 2,000 points or more. If Mike didn't break he was the first one to do it. If Mike didn't break his foot, he probably would have been his I don't know, second or third one, because Mike did come out 2 years after, or not 2 years. He came out many years after this guy. He came out like 8 years after Alex English, Michael Jordan did, right? Dominique Wilkins came out the University of Georgia, right? And a lot of people don't know this, but his nickname is the human highlight reel or highlight film, right? Because all the dunks he used to throw down. He's born in France, and his brother used to play for the Knicks, Gerald Wilkins. He was a dunking fool too. Let's see, Lakers and Detroit finals, Lakers and Boston finals, all in the 2000s. Were some of the best b-ball games ever. 80's were great too. Yeah, see, so I started in the 80's, so that's what I more relate to. Even the Lakers and Pacers, Indiana, Reggie Miller, Jackson, and the Lakers versus Spurs, man. All them fucking games were great. We'll never see. Nope. Nope, there ain't gonna be another Reggie Miller. It ain't gonna be another David Robinson, Tim Duncan. You know what I mean? So he's born Jaquez Dominique Wilkins, born on January 12th, 1960. He's currently 62 years old. As we know, he's a basketball player, right? Right now, he's currently vice president of basketball operations for the Atlanta Hawks. And he's born in Paris, France. Like I mentioned, he's listed at 6'8", 230 pounds. He went to Washington High School in Washington, North Carolina. He went to Georgia, University of Georgia. He was a Bulldog from 1979 to 82. He's an NBA 82 draft, first round, third pick overall. First pick overall was James Worthy that year. He was selected by the Utah Jazz. He played his career from 1982 to 1999. As we know, he was a small forward, and he wore the numbers 21 and 12. He played for the Hawks from 1982 to 94, the Clippers in 94, Boston Celtics in 94 to 95. And then he played for some other teams, and he came back to play for the Spurs. And then he went to, I believe, Spain, and he came back and played for the Magic. 9-time NBA All-Star 1986 to 1994. All-NBA first team 1986. 4-time All-NBA second team 87, 88, 91, 93. 2-time All-NBA third team 89 and 94. All-NBA rookie first team 83. NBA scoring champion 1986. 2-time NBA slam dunk champion 85 and 90. And that's another thing. Back then it was Spud, Dominique, and Mike that won like 5 or something like that in the 80s, right? I think Dominique won twice, Michael Jordan won twice, Spud won once. His brother Gerald Wilkins was around then, Clyde Drexler. Otis Smith, I think, was dunking too around that time. So there was some dudes. Larry Nance. He's part of the NBA All 75th team. And that's a trip that they didn't put him on the All 100 team, the 100th anniversary team. Excuse me, I find that weird. That's a trip. His number 21 is retired by the Hawks. And then he got a EuroLeague champion in 1996, a EuroLeague Final Four MVP 96, All-Greek, All-Star MVP 96. Also, it was the Greek league he was in, and he played for the Italian league. Here's some of his numbers. Career statistics: 26,668 points for 25 points a game, 7,167 rebounds for 6.7 rebounds a game, and 2,677 assists for 2.5 a game. He's in the Basketball Hall of Fame and the NBA Hall of Fame. The 94 Olympic team where he won gold there, 94. So that was in between Dream Team 1 and Dream Team 2. In addition to his 11 seasons with the Hawks, Wilkins had a short stint with the Clippers, the Celtics, which I already went over that. But I remember this when the Atlanta Hawks traded him, Dominique Wilkins. They traded him to the Clippers, and it was a huge freaking deal. I'm pretty sure it was him to the Clippers. I don't think it was from when he was on the Clippers to the Celtics, but it could have been. It was one of those teams. It was a huge trade. It was like one of the biggest ones in NBA history. So Wilkins was selected 3rd overall, like I said, behind James Worthy 1st and Terry Cummings 3rd, those are 2 big name guys too, by the Utah Jazz in the 82 NBA draft. However, Wilkins was not willing to play in Utah. The team wanted him to play power forward while he wanted to play small forward. At the same time, the Jazz were reeling from cash flow problems. As a result, the Jazz traded Wilkins to Atlanta several months after the draft, for John Drew and Freeman Williams and $1 million in cash. The trade is now considered among the most lopsided deals in NBA history, as Drew and Williams would play a combined 4 seasons for the Jazz. Wilkins averaged more than 25 points per game 10 consecutive seasons and captured a scoring title in 85-86 while averaging 30.3 points a game. Wilkins was instrumental in the Hawks' prominence in the 80s when the club recorded 4 consecutive 50-plus win seasons during the decade. Wilkins entered his 30s, and the Hawks needed more of an all-around contribution from their star. Wilkins averaged 9 rebounds and 3 assists during the 90-91 season. A 9-time NBA All-Star and the winner of 2 NBA slam dunk contests, Wilkins registered 26,668 points, and he's 4th on the all-time NBA scoring list. Kevin Durant's going to be passing these guys soon, though, because I remember he had 20,000 points like when he was still with the Warriors. Wilkins' nickname was the human highlight film for his athletic ability and highlight real dunks. His trademark dunk was a powerful one or two-handed windmill dunk. I remember those dunks well. He used to capture the slam dunk contest titles 85 and 90. And that's right here where I lived at, we used to get the TBS, right? TBS was just Turner Broadcasting, Ted Turner, and so we used to get the Atlanta Hawks and we used to get the Atlanta Braves games. So I grew up watching Atlanta Hawk games. You know what I mean? And then we had another channel was Kings, and then another channel was the Warriors. As a basketball player, he was known as an acrobatic scorer, somewhat of a gunner, and an outstanding finisher. You know, he was a slasher type dude. One of the greatest dunkers in NBA history. His number 21 was retired by the Hawks on January 13, 2001. He is one of 5 players whose jerseys had been retired by the Hawks. I'm not sure who the other ones are, but I'm pretty sure Bob Pettit's one of them. I think Bob Pettit played for the Hawks. Wilkins was selected. I already went over all that. Let's see. Oh, yeah, here we go. His teammate, 5'7", Spud Webb, was a free agent prior to the season. Webb dazzled the All-Star Sunday crowd in Dallas by soaring more than 4 feet in the air to dunk on several of his attempts. Atlanta turned its fortunes around in dramatic fashion, winning 16 more games in 85-86 season to finish 50 and 32 for the year. Wilkins scored 57 points in one game and ranked among the Hawks leaders in rebounding, 8 rebounds a game, and steals 138, and free throw percentage 81%. Atlanta beat the Pistons in 4 games in the first round of the playoffs, but the Hawks could not get past the eventual NBA champions Boston Celtics, losing 4 games to 1 in the Eastern Conference Finals. Wilkins averaged almost 29 points a game in 9 playoff games. After playing as a reserve the previous year, Wilkins became the first Atlanta Hawks player to start in an NBA All-Star game since Eddie Johnson in '81. Wilkins finished the year second in the league in scoring with 29 points a game to Michael Jordan's 37 points a game. He scored the 10,000th point of his career against the Bulls on April 16th and was named to the NBA All-Second Team at the season's end. Atlanta went into the season with high expectations after their previous year of 50 and 32, right? And the Hawks totaled a franchise record 57 wins this time with Doc Rivers, Kevin Willis, Tree Wallens, and Mike McGee. I remember those guys. Late 80s, in the 87-88 season, Wilkins posted the highest scoring average of his career, finished second to Jordan in the NBA scoring race. He averaged 30.7 points a game, but Jordan averaged 35. Those were those years when Jordan was just off the hook. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. Real B-ball when shit was rough and rumble. Yeah, oh yeah. The way it's supposed to be played. Well, yeah, especially if you play down low. If you're, even if you're not a big guy, if you're not a center or power forward, but you want to be playing down low and taking the ball to the paint and shit, then you can't be crying when the little contact, man. This is where the big boys play. You know what I mean? Some of these players nowadays, they wouldn't even make it. They'd be crying their asses off. You know what I'm saying? Wilkins earned a berth on the All-NBA second team and became the first Hawks player to be named NBA Player of the Week 3 times in a season. In his 3rd straight All-Star game appearance, Wilkins scored 29 points on 12 of 22 shooting, leading the East squad to a 138-133 victory. Atlanta, 50 and 32, won at least 50 games for the 3rd straight season and advanced to the 88 Eastern Conference semifinals before losing to Boston in 7 games. In Game 7 on April 22nd, Wilkins and Larry Bird carried their respective teams to a thrilling finish, trading bucket for bucket in the 4th quarter until Boston eventually won 118-116, right? Wilkins finished with 47 points, and Bird had 34 points, with 20 of those coming in the 4th quarter. But Bird was no joke, man. Bird, the dude couldn't move fast, he couldn't run fast, he couldn't jump high, but he would fucking he would score them buckets right in your fucking ass. You know what I'm saying? Magic, Bird, Dr. J, Clyde the Glide, MJ, Kareem, Malone, Stockton, Neek, Robinson. So, yep, hell yeah. And then the 90s, you can't forget the role players. Well, yeah, you can't, because without the role players, you're not going to win no championship. Unlike these 2 guys that I'm profiling today, they didn't win championships, neither one of them. 89 season, Wilkins' scoring average dropped slightly to 26 points a game, good for 7th in the league, but he was an all-star for the 4th straight year. He shot a career best 84% from the free throw line and ranked 2nd on the Hawks with 117 steals. Basketball Writers selected him to the All-NBA third team at season end. The Hawks added Reggie Theus and Moses Malone to the team in 88-89. Moses averaged 20 points a game and finished fourth in the league with almost 12 rebounds a game. Reggie Theus averaged almost 16 points a game without 7-foot Kevin Willis, however, who missed the entire season with a fractured left foot. Atlanta lost to the Bucks in the first round. Dominique averaged 27 points in the playoffs. Wilkins returned to the dunking prominence in 89-90 by edging out Sacramento Kings' Kenny Smith for his second NBA dunk championship. He averaged 26 points. He averaged 26.7 points to finish fifth in the NBA in scoring. He led the Hawks in steals for the first time since 85-86, finishing with 126. His 48% shooting from the field was the best since his rookie season, and for the sixth straight year, he did not foul out of a game. Nevertheless, Atlanta struggled to a 41-41 record, 500 last season, as head coach Mike Fratello's failing to make the playoffs for only the second time in Dominique's career. Okay, now it goes into the 90s, and he was, like I mentioned, he was traded to the Clippers, and then he went on to the Boston Celtics, and then he went to Greece, and then he came back for a season with the Spurs, then he went back to Italy League, and then he came back to play with Orlando. Oh no, wait. So again, he was the 85-86 NBA slam dunk, 85-86 scoring champion with 30.3 points a game, NBA All-Star dunk champion 85-90, All-NBA rookie team 83, All-NBA first team 86, All-NBA second team 87, 88, 91, 93, All-NBA third team 89 and 94, 9-time NBA All-Star 1986 through 1994. And he made the Hall of Fame NBA Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame in 2006. And I'm still surprised that he wasn't on the NBA All 100 anniversary team. He was on the 75th, but not the 100. That's crazy. I don't see how that is. He's 14th all-time in scoring. I don't understand that. I mean, of course, okay, small forward. Okay, Larry Bird's going to be there, right? LeBron's going to be there. Carmelo Anthony's going to be there. I think James Worthy. Oh, Scottie Pippen's there. I think James Worthy's there too. Chris Mullin, I believe he should be there. You know, I don't see how they passed him up on that. I don't get that. Powerhouse forwards, centers, big fellas, right there. When basketball players were fucking men, bro, real fucking men. Yep. You got me up now, bro. Basketball is my shit. Yeah, fucking. Yeah, this is my. I don't know if you've seen the other videos, but I did one on Magic Johnson, on Kareem, and on James Worthy. I did one on Hakeem Olajuwon, Michael Jordan, and Charles Barkley. I did one on Larry Bird and Kevin McHale. And now I'm doing this one. There might have been one more I did. I can't remember offhand right now. But yeah, basketball is my favorite sport. Growing up as a kid, baseball was my favorite sport first. But then once I started playing basketball and getting into it, basketball is my favorite. You know what I mean? I remember all those, like you were talking about, you know, the Celtics. It was the Lakers, Celtics battling in the 80s. They won 8 out of 10 of the 80s. The 76ers won 1, and the Pistons won 1 in the 80s. Other than that, it was all Celtics and Lakers. 3 to the Celtics, 5 to the Lakers. You know what I mean? Yep, Worthy. Yep, Michael Cooper, Byron Scott, Kareem, AC Green. My brain's half asleep. Yep, Kurt Rambis, Bob McAdoo, Jamal Wilkes, Norm Nixon was there real shortly. Michael Thompson came. Yep, exactly. Yep, Showtime Lakers. That's what I did that video on. Kareem, James Worthy, and go back. When you have free time, go mark and go and check those ones out. They're not real long videos because I keep it. Everything I talk about when I do these profiles is just up until the 80s. You know, so 1980 to 89, pretty much. If somebody played like maybe 1-2 seasons to the 90s, I might give a little bit about that, but I keep it to the 80s because, like I said, that's when I started liking sports. When I actually got into it and started knowing who they were, it was like around 84, about 84, 85, and then, like, you know, and then the decade ends in 89. So I stay right there with that. I don't go beyond that. So yeah. So I'm gonna I've been on 30 minutes on this one. I'm gonna go ahead and shut this one down, and then I'm scheduled for 17 minutes to come on, and it's gonna be a short little video about screening Morrissey and about Valdivia. The thumbnail, I already put the thumbnail. It's a dude he's cuffed and he's being escorted through San Quentin, one of the south. It could be South Block, it could be West Block. I'm not sure, because you don't see no name. You got to do the 2000 Lakers, bro. No, because I'm not doing. Yeah, maybe later, but right now I'm doing profiles on 80's guys from football, basketball, baseball, boxing, and pro wrestling. So far, I've done the basketball ones I named to you, and then for baseball, I did Wade Boggs, Don Mattingly, George Brett was the first three. Then I did Dave Winfield, Kirby Puckett, Dale Murphy, Ozzie Smith, Nolan Ryan, Mike Schmidt, Robin Yount, and Paul Molitor. And then football, so far I've done Joe Montana, Ronnie Lott, Howie Long, Marcus Allen, Phil Simms, Lawrence Taylor, Dan Marino, John Elway. And then I already named you the basketball. Boxing, so far I've done Rofredo Gomez, Asuma Nelson, Julio Cesar Chavez Sr., Hector Camacho, Sugar Ray Leonard, and Tommy Hearns. And then pro wrestling, so far I've done the Four Horsemen, Dusty Rhodes, Superstar Billy Graham, and the Road Warriors. The Shaq and Kobe teams later when you're done with these ones. Yeah, I might. But that's 2000. I would have to hit the 90s first. 90 guys. You know what I mean? My pops named me after. Okay, so my nephew's named Marcus, and his middle name's Allen. One of my nephews. My brother named him after Marcus Allen. Yep. That's what's up. He got done dirty too, man, by Al Davis. I don't know what happened. I heard two different stories. One, it was about the contract. The other thing was about, they said he was banging his daughter. I don't know. Best 1-2 punch mob dudes? What do you mean? Yeah, so Marcus Allen was on the, even with his numbers right now, he's up there, as far as the stats. But if there was like 4 seasons where he was benched, and a lot of times he was put as a fullback to block for Bo. He wasn't even getting the handoffs. Who best 1-2 punch duo? I don't know. I don't know. There's too many, man. There's too many. Ooh, that's hard. That's hard. It's too many. Yeah, that was the first ones that came to my mind. Was that, yeah, those were the first two that came on my mind. But there's some other old school dudes too, man, like Jimmy Doyle and his nephew, Nino Gadji and Roy DeMeo. The Gemini twins. Yeah, Michael. Well, yeah, his dad, and maybe a lot of his Joey. A lot of his dad's guys got killed. A lot of the main ones, the real tough guys, like Sally D'Ambrosio. I don't know, man. I'd have to look into that. And I would say Arcardo, and I would say Rica and Arcardo. Paul Rica and Arcardo, probably. Yeah, you could maybe Joe Ayupa. Yeah, that was more like the casino days. Joey Ayupa, Joey Doves. Yeah, that's a good one right there. Ricardo Ayupa, but I would think Ricardo Rica first. But then again, I don't know how long Rica was around, because I always thought that Ricardo pretty much from like from 1940 to 45 all the way until he died, like 92, 93, he was the main dude. But I spoke to somebody recently from Chicago, and he told me no, it was Rica was the main dude, but Ricardo was in the leadership, but Rica was the main guy. He would refer to Ricardo would refer to Rica, but I don't know when Rica went out. Like, as far as, I don't know if he died first, or and that's how he fell out, or he retired. I don't know. Yeah, it could be. Matter of fact, I would probably think it is a different state, because most of all the other states, there's only one family there. So You know what I mean? But yeah, I think yeah, Vic and Gas, but it could be Tony Ducks and Tommy Mix Santoro. You know what I mean? It could be I'm thinking Jimmy Doyle though. I'm thinking Jimmy Doyle and his nephews. He had a bunch of nephews. Um, see, Jimmy Doyle's last name was Plumeri, and his nephews, I believe, were the Dios. All the Di Guardardis. I don't know how to pronounce the name right. Or 123 Ricardo Rica Giancana. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know because you know they were with the front bosses. You know what I mean? Because I mean, can you put Fat Tony Salerno and Gas Pipe together as a duo? No, because Fat Tony was a money making machine on his own, right? Uh, so I don't really know, man. I guess you could put, you could probably put Gotti and Gravano together. You know what I mean? I mean, it's just boss under boss. They did make a lot of money. You know what I mean? He said something about John was making like between 5 million and 20 a year. That's what he said. That's a big gap though. 5 to 20. That's a big, huge gap. Vic and Gas were fuck ups. Yeah, they were. But they were making a ton of money. Gas Pipe was making a ton of both them dudes were making a ton of money pretty much their whole their whole career. You know what I mean? Before they started getting positions of leadership. Well, I would say Gas Pipe for sure. He had been making money forever, but maybe a Musso once he became captain. But then again, why would he be elevated to capo if he wasn't making money? You know what I mean? Those are top tier positions for guys that can show, they're showing the boss, through word of mouth from their old captain, probably, unless they have that closer relationship with the boss, that they can make money. As the story goes, it was supposedly offered to Casso first, right? The captain position of the old Christy Tick crew, which was what was it, the 19th hole or something like that, the 19th Avenue crew or something. And supposedly Casso turned it down to give it to Vic, right? And then it said that Casso became the aide de camp to Christy Tick once he was elevated from capo to uh, consigliere, right? And then that's when Gas Pipe started rolling with him as his aide de camp, because supposedly the consigliere can pick one soldier of the family to roll with him and pretty much be like his driver, bodyguard, whatever. You know what I mean? Vic and Gas were fuck us, but bro, they were getting to the paper big fucking hell yeah. Tom Ducks and Tom Mix were flexing real fucking power. Yeah, these dudes were, but those dudes, like yesterday when I had Tom on, these dudes were proven leaders. They had been leaders for at least a decade. Paul Castellano just missed a decade. He got killed 9 years in. But the Chin, who knows really how long the Chin had been in that position. It said history wise and literature wise, it said 81ish, right? 80, 81ish, up until he went down in 2000. He died in 2003, 2004. And then Dux Corallo, it was said that when Tommy Lucchese died in 67, I've said it, I read it in two different places, that Carmine Tremonti took over only like on a interim basis until Tony Ducks got out. And I think Tony Ducks got out like in 73. Or was Ducks really in control all from 67 to 73 when he got out, and Tremonti Grubbs was just a figurehead, our street boss. You know what I mean? Then you got Carmine Persico was already the boss when the commission case happened. He was already the boss since Colombo's killing or shooting 71, right? But then even that's a little foggy too, because they say what was his name? Iacovelli was Joey Yak. I think his name was Iacovelli was his last name. They say he was sitting in there as boss, and then it says Tom DeBella was boss, and then Carmine finally took over. So I don't know. That's a little hazy there. And then Rastelli was, even when people said Carmine Galante was the boss, really Rastelli was the boss, but Carmine Galante was trying to push up, saying that it really belonged to him, because when he went away, he should have been the one in line, basically. When he went away, when he went away and Joe Bonanno got kicked out, he was busted. And then when he got out of doing that 20 years, whatever he did, he felt that it was his, you know what I mean? So he took over, and then it said that, the commission signed off on his death because he was being greedy, and he wasn't sharing the wealth. So I don't know how true that is, because I thought if you deal, you die, right? So he already got busted for it, and then he was doing it again big time, and that's why they took him out. But I think they took him out because, for one, the commission recognized Rostelli as the actual boss, and two, he wasn't sharing the wealth like with the concrete club. You know, each family got their cut. You know what I mean? So I don't really know. So I guess it's up for, you know what I mean? What did you say? What was the Lucchese Capo dude from Harlem or the Bronx that Tony Ducks was gonna Luongo? I think you're talking about Luongo, right? Buddy Luongo was supposed to be. He was from the Bronx, I believe, and he was the one. Yeah, and they killed him, right? That's the one you're talking about. Yeah, Vic. Yeah, whacked him. What was his name? Yeah, Buddy Luongo. Vic and Gas had the Jersey crew making big money. Yeah, but see, remember that was another issue. Tumac, Tony Duck was only asking for like 50 grand a year from the whole crew, which that's come on, that's peanuts, right? But that's because Tony Ducks wasn't a greedy fuck, right? You know, and that's what gets you loved by your soldiers, man, by your family. You don't be a greedy motherfucker, you know what I'm saying? So he's asking for 50 G's a year from the Jersey crew, from the Lucchese's, from Tumac, and then these nuts go in there and they tell him they want like half, I think, some weird ass shit. Rostelli was the sitting boss, but Galante said, "Fuck that." Yeah, exactly. Then the commission showed, yeah. But what do you think, though? You believe that the commission did that to him because they really recognized Rostelli as the boss, or because he wasn't, or because he was dealing, or because he wasn't sharing the wealth with them? Heroin money, Galante didn't want to share. Okay, yeah. Luongo, yep, Luongo. Vic and Gas wanted to whack out the whole fucking Jersey crew. Yeah, that's crazy, man. These dudes were way out, man. Way out, motherfuckers. Want to kill people because they had a dream. And then they brought up, yesterday on the live, they brought up Pete Chiodo, in that, you know, in his case, you know, people could see, you know, not only did they shoot him and he wasn't telling, they ended up going after his sister and shooting his sister and actually hitting her. The bullets actually hit his sister. That is crazy. I mean, them dudes should have been, well, I don't know how you prove it, right? But the commission should have investigated that. You know what I mean? But then again, how do you prove it? Maybe they did, and we just don't know. It never got out there, but how do you prove it? You know, they go to Vic and Gas, hey, you sanction this? They're going to say no. You know what I mean? And how do you prove it if you don't even know who did it? You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. But I'm going to go ahead and end this one. I'm going to end this one, and I'm going to come right back by 2 o'clock and then start the next one. Tony Ducks and all them bosses at that particular era were flexing real power, bro. Yes, exactly. Those were real powerhouse bosses at that point. After that, it started to crumble. It went down here. Yeah, exactly. That's why my video yesterday, when Tom came on about everybody always wants to blame Gotti. No, Gotti, how did Gotti get the whole blame for that when you had the Lucchese's killing all these guys, leaving them in the dirt, leaving them out there in the streets, right? The Colombo Third War was going on around that time. And Nicky Scarfo and them were killing people up in Philly, you know, and if you really look at the murders that Gotti went down for, DeBono, Melito, and DB, that was all. I honestly believe that was all Sammy. Sammy wanted to take those businesses over. You know what I mean? The commission took Delante down because they couldn't control him. Power move by commission. Yeah, power move. But it said that they wanted in on the dope dealing. That's how much money he was making. He was making a ton of money before he went in on that, when he was the underboss to Joe Bonanno, and then he goes and does time. And then the documentaries that I seen regarding that, they said that he was in the pen and he was, he was putting together plans, and he still had a lot of his old contacts with Sicily and things like that, and he was able to put it even together, even bigger than he had it before. That's when the pizza connection, all that stuff came through with that. All right, peoples, I'm gonna tap out. I appreciate Marky Mark stopping in, Just Chilling stopping in. And there's a few other people that are here. They ain't commenting, but they're here. Wesley Mitchell. Thanks for stopping in. 2 o'clock. I'm gonna start another one on a little prison stuff. Okay, that too. Multi-millionaires, bro. Galante was bringing in on the air. Hell yeah, huge money. All right, peoples, come back, join me. If not, if you ain't got time, catch it on the catch it on the rebound. All right, Big Lou tapping out. I'll be right back at 2 o'clock, 6-7 minutes.